Hey Mules fans, welcome to this week's edition of UCM Gridiron Weekly. I'm Nick Thomas, and joining me today is a great friend of mine and UCM Mules junior defensive lineman, Trevor Vanpool. Trevor, how's it going?
You know, life is great. Thank you for having me today. I really appreciate you guys just reaching out to me and having me on here. And it's just going well. School's finishing up for me. Got a final left. Other than that, it's just good. Ready to get on break and hit the weight room hard and then see where it comes next semester.
Absolutely. It's good to have you on. On today's show, we're going to talk a little UCM football, then we'll get to know more about our friend Trevor Vanpool, and then we'll wrap it up with a look around what's going on around the NFL. But before we get into that, let's talk Mules football. Trevor, with everything going on this year, what's the atmosphere been like with the team?
It's been a really lot of good work ethic. Spent a lot of time in the weight room on the field doing a lot of sprint training. Had a really slow semester getting into practices because we didn't want to wear us out over the semester. Coach did a really good job with that, and really working on technique, getting our plays in, getting our defensive stunts in, really working hard as a team all together. We've really seen come together really well to strive to get that MIAA conference title again when we get the chance, and hopefully continue to go farther in the playoffs and hopefully win a national championship eventually.
So are you all still doing like organized workouts, or is it mainly practice as usual? How much has changed compared to last year?
So it's been a lot more like a spring semester. If anybody knows what a collegiate spring semester would be like. So we had 2 months of practices leading up to a couple scrimmages where we inter-squatted with each other. And then a lot of weight room, a lot of field training, a lot of one-on-one with coach, just working on what do we need to work on. And then that all ended the week before Thanksgiving was our final inter-squad scrimmage. And then we had a week off. Last week was off. This week was off. You're free to go in the weight room at certain times, which most of the team does, but nothing organized as far as football goes. But most of the semester you would see us out there practicing, whether that's with pads or not, changes a little bit, but we were out there for a lot of it.
And of course, you all had that scrimmage between the two teams. Of course, that inter-squad scrimmage. So what did you see out of that?
I really saw the defense play extremely well at the beginning, and then the offense with our new offensive coordinator had to work out the hiccups a little bit at the beginning, but they really came together strong, and it became a real good, almost dogfight between a good defense, a good offense, really improving, getting ourselves better, as well as getting our young guys in there, letting our rookies, our freshmen, come out and play and see what they've got. Had a couple freshmen come out and play a lot for the varsity defense. And just love to see that, love to see the guys come out and really showcasing their talents. And the team as a whole, enjoying it, having a great time, but also competing. It was a good time.
Yeah, despite everything going on, it's good to see that the team's still together and doing well. And when we come back, we'll learn more about our friend Trevor Vanpool and his path to becoming a UCM Mule. Hey Tiger fans, this is Nick Thomas with Prepcast. Are you stuck at home during the COVID-19 pandemic and unable to go watch your Smith Cotton Tigers in action? If so, then we got you covered. You can join me, Michael, Tristan, and Scott every week as we bring Tiger sports to you live in high definition. If you want to go back and watch the game later, you can do that too. For more information and to view your Tiger sporting events, log on to prepcast.com. Go Tigers!
This message brought to you by your friends in UCM Digital Media Production.
Welcome back to UCM Gridiron Weekly. Once again, we're joined by UCM defensive lineman Trevor Vanpool. Trevor, we talked about what's going on with the team, but every player has a background, and we want to know more about yours. So tell us where you're from and what made you choose UCM.
So I'm from a little town, northeast Oklahoma. It's called Ketchum, Oklahoma, right between Joplin and Tulsa. Love it there, love the town that I grew up in. I chose UCM because it offered me the opportunity to both play football and do ROTC. From the time I was a little boy, I wanted to play football, collegiate football, play on Saturdays was a goal of mine. I wanted to win a state championship and suit up for the Oklahoma State Cowboys was the original goal. But UCM offered me the opportunity just to come and to be on the team, offered me a spot, which is something I'm so thankful for. And then ROTC, Reserve Officer Training Corps, is my scholarship, and I love being a part of the Fighting Mules Battalion. And that's why I chose UCM, is they offered me both, and now I get to live out both dreams, be a soldier and be on the football team.
And of course, like you said, you're part of the UCM Fighting Mules ROTC Battalion. And of course, the Vanpool family has a long history of serving our great country. So can you tell us more about that?
So my grandpa was a specialist, 5th class. That's no longer a rank in the Army. I think I said it right. But he was that in Vietnam. He drove trucks. He fueled helicopters. If you've seen the movie We Were Soldiers, he actually supplied the fuel to those helicopters that day, into the 2-3 days that it was. And then my dad enlisted in 1991, and he was a Stinger missile gunner shooter in Desert Storm, deployed to Desert Storm. Then he got out, and in 2007 he got back in as a chaplain in the Oklahoma Army National Guard, and he's deployed since I was around in 2010 to the Sinai Peninsula, keeping Egypt and Israel from attacking each other. And so it's been cool to see that. He's now a lieutenant colonel, a little bit higher ranking than I am, and having that history in the family of both my grandpa and my dad, willing to serve, sign that dotted line, to give it all up if called upon for their country, is really cool for me to follow in their footsteps and hopefully fulfill those big shoes that they've left for me to fill.
And of course, that's an incredible story. It really is. And, we thank, your family, of course, yourself for dedication to this country. And, of course, you're also a leader of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes here on campus. So how did you get started in that?
As a freshman, I just needed community. I needed people that are God-loving people to guide me. So a softball player by the name of Bree Murray invited me to come to FCA one Wednesday night, and I went. And from there, it's taken off. Second semester freshman year, they asked me to be on leadership team, and I've absolutely loved it. Those are some of my best friends in the whole world. I have two really, really good groups of friends. We have the friend group, is what we refer to ourselves as. Nick and I are both a part of that. And then we have the Fellowship of Christian Athlete leadership group is really close. Specifically, my male friends and Paul Lanigan and Nick Victor are two of my best friends, and I'm so thankful for FCA and how it's guided me and mentored me to be a man of God and a man of character.
And of course, Trevor, you've inspired a lot of people here on campus, including myself. So,
Thank you.
We appreciate everything you do for the university, not just on the field, but off the field as well with ROTC, FCA. No matter what you're doing, thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about what's going on around the NFL. Don't go anywhere. Hey, Tiger fans, this is Nick Thomas with Prepcast. Are you stuck at home during the COVID-19 pandemic and unable to go watch your Smith Cotton Tigers in action? If so, then we got you covered. You can join me, Michael, Tristan, and Scott every week as we bring Tiger sports to you live in high definition. If you want to go back and watch the game later, you can do that too. For more information and to view your Tiger sporting events, log on to prepcast.com. Go Tigers!
This message brought to you by your friends in UCM Digital Media Production.
Welcome back to UCM Gridiron Weekly. It's time to take a look around this past week's action in the NFL. A well-balanced effort from the Green Bay offense, along with a rock-solid defense, helped push the Packers ever so closer to that NFC North title as they took down their division rival Chicago Bears 41-25.
And it was the Mahomes and Tyreek Hill show in Tampa Bay as the Chiefs continue their quest toward defending their title. Brady and the Bucs put up a fight, but once again KC prevailed to improve their record to 10-1.
And of course, the only team that's beaten the Chiefs this year did not fare so well this week as Raheem Morris and the Falcons walked all over the Las Vegas Raiders. Final score was 43-6.
Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills continue their surge toward a division title as they took down Justin Herbert and the Chargers 27-17. They currently have a one-game lead over the Miami Dolphins.
It was a rough week for the Lions once again, but a good week for Deshaun Watson and the Texans as Houston trampled over Detroit on Thanksgiving Day 41-25. Lions head coach Matt Patricia and general manager Bob Quinn were relieved of their duties 2 days later.
Probably the biggest highlight of the week was the quarterback situation in Denver. After all the Broncos quarterbacks became unavailable due to the COVID, Broncos practice squad wide receiver Kendall Hinton suited up to lead the Denver offense. It was an understandably tough day for the Broncos as they fell to the red-hot New Orleans Saints 31-3.
That's about all we have time for here on UCM Gridiron Weekly. We want to thank our special guest, Trevor Vanpool.
Thank
and
you.
for everyone else behind the scenes, I'm Nick Thomas. Good night, God bless, and go Mules!